For keeping us well informed, Kimberly. Now, spring is right around the corner, and with that comes spring allergies. Sarah Overton, Chief Nursing Officer for OSF Medical Group, Home Care and Employee Health, joins us today to tell us how can you stay healthy this spring. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I almost feel a little scratchiness in my throat too, so it is, such a perfect day to discuss it. So what can you tell us about the major changes that people with allergies may experience?
Sure. So seasonal allergies, quite common. Millions of adults and children are affected with seasonal allergies. Spring is upon us, and with all of the blossoming and blooming that we see outside on our trees and the grass and flowers, we start to see an influx of patients who have an issue with histamine. So it's basically the body's normal response that gets a little overactive when it comes to those allergens that you're exposed to. So generally what we see is a lot of itchy eyes, watery eyes, nasal congestion or running of the nose, and that cough. We really advise you to just watch your exposures to those known allergens if you know what they are, and really try to avoid them as best as possible.
That makes sense. And what are some ways to alleviate those symptoms, which can be so heavy?
Sure. Best way to do it, again, try to watch that exposure. So if you know grass is your issue, pollen, check the pollen count. I'm sure it's on your apps. And make sure that you know what your exposure and your risk is. And when you know somebody's mowing the grass or there's an animal, try to avoid that allergen. If you do go outside, make sure you change your clothes, rinse yourself off. Masking is even an option so that you can avoid those pollens getting into your nasal passages. And lastly, there's a lot of over-the-counter medications that, certainly check with your doctor to make sure that they are appropriate for you, but those usually can alleviate most symptoms.
That makes sense. And what makes the spring season allergies different from other seasons?
Sure. So looking into this, spring generally we see a lot of the pollen, windy conditions, certainly pushing those pollens and allergens all over the environment. Everybody's real anxious to get back outside, start their yard work. So we are exposing ourselves. Typically that's why we see a lot of that springtime. Generally in the fall, it's your molds and harvest. So really it's just knowing what those allergens are and try to reduce those exposures, maybe air conditioning, HEPA filters, things like that can really alleviate those symptoms.
And I know there are other colds and viruses going around as well. So keeping that in mind too, what are just some general things people can do to just stay healthy and safe as the seasons do change?
Yes, great question. So obviously, really want to encourage you to make sure you keep yourself healthy. If you do feel like it might be more than allergies, which would usually be that lingering cough that doesn't go away, a fever, anything like that, we do want you to make sure that you stay indoors, socially isolate, take care of yourself, push fluids, do all the things, take your vitamins. But when in doubt, certainly come and see us at OSF Medical Group. We can certainly make sure that you are staying as healthy as possible.
And is there any way to prepare for those spring allergies before they are completely here?
Yes, vacuuming, dusting, cleaning up in the home. Try to get somebody who maybe doesn't have as much of an exposure or an issue with allergies, just to clean up and do that general maintenance. If grass is the problem, try to get someone to mow the grass for you. Just kind of working through those processes in and amongst themselves, and certainly just trying to keep things as clean and tidy as possible.
And what about those people who love the great outdoors and as soon as the weather breaks, I know I love to spend time outside, but I definitely do have those allergies. So anything that could help the people who want to be outside but need to make sure that they're not just having sneezing attacks and all that stuff.
Definitely. Today's the perfect day. So we had a really nice heavy rain that rinsed out a lot of those pollens and allergens. Today's a great day to get outside and enjoy the season and that type of atmosphere, but certainly pre-medicating yourselves. And then just when you are exposed, watch those really windy, high pollen days. Try to avoid the outdoors those days. So just pick your battles, if you will. And then certainly when you do come back indoors, make sure you change your clothes and rinse yourself off, and that'll really alleviate those things, those sticky pollens that settle on our clothes that might expose and really get those symptoms going.
Well, thank you so much. That is great advice. I know I will be taking it. And where can people find any more information online from OSF?
Sure. OSFHealthCare.org is our website. Certainly a great opportunity. And we always encourage OSF MyChart, which is our patient portal. It's a great way to stay informed, up to date, and make sure you've got all the preventative health needs that we recommend taking care of.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll be right back.